Can Samsung finally fix its Exynos problem with the Galaxy S26? For years, Samsung fans have been split over one thing: Snapdragon versus Exynos. If you've followed Samsung's flagship phones, you already know the pattern. Some regions get Qualcomm's Snapdragon chips, others get Samsung's in-house Exynos, and usually the Snapdragon models perform better. But now, all eyes are on the Exynos 2600 and the upcoming Galaxy S26 series, because this could be the chipset that either saves Exynos or buries it for good. According to the latest reports, Samsung is going back to its old strategy. The Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus will launch in two versions depending on the region. Some markets will get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy, while others will receive the Exynos 2600. Samsung has been working on this new Exynos chip for quite some time, and it's built on the company's new 2nm process. That's a big technical milestone, especially after Samsung struggled with its 3nm production in 2024. But here's the twist. Samsung is reportedly not using Exynos at all in the Galaxy S26 Ultra, no matter where you are in the world. That's the clearest sign yet that Samsung still isn't fully confident in the new Exynos 2600. If it were just as good as Snapdragon, the Ultra should have had it too, right? This decision says a lot. Samsung has a pattern. Whenever performance really matters, they go with Snapdragon. And past Exynos chips have had their issues: less power efficiency, heating problems, and lower performance in demanding tasks like gaming and video processing. So even though Samsung has spent a lot of time and money building up Exynos again, the fact that the S26 Ultra is skipping it entirely doesn't exactly inspire confidence. But here's why this matters so much. Samsung isn't just trying to save money by avoiding Qualcomm. The company is planning for a future where it relies less on outside suppliers. Just like how Apple built its own M-series chips, Samsung wants to build its own high-end processors. Exynos is a big part of that vision, and if it works, it could give Samsung tighter control over performance, battery life, and long-term support. The Exynos 2600 has to deliver this time, not just for users, but for the company's entire strategy. If it performs well, it'll help Samsung rebuild trust. If it fails, it'll push more people to avoid regions with Exynos-powered models. That's bad for sales and bad for the brand. And consumers aren't forgiving. Even if most people can't feel the performance difference in daily use, no one wants to pay the same price for a product that's technically worse. That's the core issue. So the pressure is real. Samsung can't afford another chip that runs hot, drains the battery too fast, or scores low on benchmarks. Is Samsung finally launching the Galaxy Z Flip FE alongside the Z Flip 7? After months of back-and-forth leaks, a fresh rumor suggests that the Galaxy Z Flip FE, Samsung's more affordable foldable, might actually make its debut at the same time as the Z Flip 7. And if this turns out to be true, Samsung's July Unpacked event could be a lot more exciting than expected. Now, originally, many thought Samsung would hold off on the fan edition of its foldable. The idea was that the Galaxy Z Flip FE would launch later, just like how the Galaxy S FE models are usually released months after their flagship versions. This delay strategy helps Samsung avoid cutting into the sales of its higher-priced models, but a new leak is now changing that story. According to Max Jambor, a trusted tipster in the tech space, the Z Flip FE is being produced alongside the Z Flip 7 and Z Fold 7. And that's an interesting clue. If Samsung is manufacturing these devices together, it makes sense that they're getting ready to launch them together too. The leak also mentions that live demo units for these foldables have already entered production. That usually happens when phones are being prepped to hit stores soon after their official launch. So if this info is accurate, we might actually see the Z Flip FE on shelves as early as July. Still, we have to remember that Samsung hasn't officially announced anything yet. The rumored Unpacked event in early July is based purely on leaks for now. But we're getting close, so more confirmed details should start to come out soon. What we know so far about the Z Flip FE is that it's expected to be a cheaper version of last year's Galaxy Z Flip 6. Whether it ends up being called the Z Flip FE, Z Flip 7 FE, or even Z Flip X, the core idea remains the same. It's a clamshell foldable with a slightly lower price point, probably cutting a few premium features while keeping the folding experience. As for the price, no solid numbers have leaked yet, but it's safe to expect the FE version to be at least a couple $100 cheaper than the standard Flip 7. This would make it one of the most affordable foldables on the market, especially compared to other brands. And when it comes to competition, there's not much. The only real rival is the cheaper Motorola Razr variant, which also targets users who want a foldable phone without paying top dollar. But apart from that, Samsung could have the budget foldable space all to itself if the Z Flip FE launches soon. It's also important to note that, despite being an FE model, the Flip FE is still expected to have a powerful processor. While we don't know the exact chipset yet, Samsung usually doesn't go too far back when choosing chips for its FE phones. That means decent performance is still on the table. All this tells us that Samsung is taking foldables seriously, not just for premium users, but for more people in general. If the Z Flip FE really does launch in July, it could be a huge step in making foldables more mainstream. So, what do you think? Would you be interested in a cheaper foldable phone if it looked good and performed well? If you enjoyed this update and want more like it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for all the latest news, leaks, and insights from the tech world. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Would you pay over $3,000 for a foldable phone? Because Samsung's first tri-fold device is coming, and it won't be cheap. Rumors about a Samsung tri-fold phone have been floating around for a while, but now it looks like it's really happening. A recent leak just revealed that this new phone, possibly named the Galaxy G Fold, is set to launch sometime in the third quarter of this year. That would likely place it around July, right next to the release of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7, but don't get too excited just yet. This won't be a global launch. If the reports are accurate, the G Fold will only be available in South Korea and China at first. So if you're living in the United States or Europe, you might need to import it. And even if you manage to get your hands on one, there's a much bigger problem: the price. The Galaxy G Fold is rumored to cost between $3,000 and $3,500. That's about the same price as Huawei's Mate XT, another tri-fold phone that came out last year. With this kind of cost, Samsung's new foldable clearly isn't aimed at everyday users. It's meant for a very niche market, the kind of people who love being the first to try bold new tech and don't mind paying top dollar for it. So what makes this phone special? A tri-fold design means the screen folds in 3 sections, creating something close to a tablet when fully opened. That could make it great for people who need extra screen space on the go, maybe for work, multitasking, or content creation. It's a unique concept that sets it apart from anything currently on the market, especially outside China. We still don't know everything about the G Fold specs, but a few things have leaked. One big letdown might be charging speed. Right. Now it looks like Samsung is sticking to 25-watt wired charging, which is the same as some of their mid-range phones. That's kind of a letdown, especially in 2025, when other brands are pushing much faster charging. To put that in perspective, the Huawei Mate XT offers 66-watt wired and 50-watt wireless charging. Even Samsung's own Galaxy S25 Ultra goes up to 45 watts, and people already think that's too slow. So if you were hoping for a fast-charging beast, this phone might not deliver. What about cameras? There's talk that Samsung might reuse the camera setup from the Z Fold 6 Special Edition. That means we could see a triple lens system with a 200-megapixel main sensor, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel telephoto. If true, this would actually give Samsung a serious advantage over Huawei, especially in photo quality. Still, this is all early info, and a lot can change before the final product hits shelves. With such a high price tag and limited release, the Galaxy G Fold probably won't be a big mainstream hit, but it does show how far Samsung is willing to go to stay on top of the foldable game. More leaks will likely surface in the coming weeks, especially as the July launch window gets closer. So if you're curious about Samsung's tri-fold, or just want to see what this wild design looks like in real life, stay tuned, and if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing you all the latest Samsung leaks, releases, and tech news you care about.